Good evening, ladies and germs. Yes, that dates me pretty well. I am Tristan Blackwolf, as many of you already know. And the interesting thing about my being Tristan Blackwolf is that I have a certain, shall we say, reputation. For example, I don't know how to edit video. Consequently, I have realized now as I've started this that I have forgotten to do something that's slightly important, so I'm going to reach over here to this other set of speakers and turn it down, just in case I end up getting some sort of announcement that I have a new email, because that is the most funereal sound that I've ever heard in a program announcement before. Usually get something like ding or something. This kind of plays this little melancholy piano piece that sounds like it belongs at, Forest Lawn or somewhere. It's kind of sad. So I've gotten taken care of that now. Okay, we're good. The reason that I'm doing this is it's an off-the-cuff, look, I have cuffs, idea. It off-the-cuff idea. Sorry, just reading. And someone thought, wouldn't it be funny if Tristan did some improvisation? Because even improvisation, which can happen if I enunciate. After all, this is acting. Okay, I've stolen enough from too many sources. Let's see if I can get back to myself here. I have done improvisation for years, and on stage as well, comedic improvisation, a lot of fun. And I usually have a more cooperative group. In other words, in my idea of doing improv, the idea is to make your partner look brilliant. And if both of you are making each other look brilliant, you can't go wrong. On the other paw, you've got something like Ryan Stiles and Colin Mockery. Okay, they go head to head, and they try to make it as difficult for each other as possible, because that's where they get their laughs from the audience. They love it. They love to see, okay, I put you in a corner, how are you going to get out of it? And the thing is, they usually do. But improvisation, the idea is they said, my friends, I do have a few. Just, a couple, one or two. Difficult to believe, I understand, but then again, there's always Ripley's Believe It or Not. I might actually have it. Tristan Blackwolf has friends. Shock horror. So, a few of my friends said, you should do some kind of improvisation. I said, well, okay, give me a topic. And they said, well, just do something fun and flamboyant. After all, you're gay, right? And I thought, that's an interesting observation. Because I'm recording this on the 29th of December, 2017. So we have just gone through what is tiresomely referred to as Christmas season. Okay. Christmas. So Christmas songs have been everywhere, right? Now the biggest problem with Christmas songs is that they're always about Christmas. You have to force them. So you're saying glory hallelujah, we've been saved by this baby that's been born someplace, and it's not even December in that situation. Let's not get political. That's not what I'm trying to get to. But either you're talking about the whole miraculous thing, or you're talking about, isn't it fun to be in some kind of cold, snowy place to have fun in December because it's cold and snowy? Except for my friends down in Australia, for example. They really don't have snow in December. So they do not have a snowy Christmas. That little sound you just heard, that was the microphone, the sound speaker that I didn't turn off. Oops! Golly, I wish I could edit video. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the idea is that not everyone gets these same sorts of, isn't it fun to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight? Unless, of course, you happen to be a barbarian with a big sword, in which case you can laugh and sing a sleighing song all you want. Or as I'd like to think of, a nice vampire sort of Christmas song. Silent bites, holy bites, blood flows warm on cold nights. Well, then again, I just lost my Australian audience again because it's not cold down there. They're like, what's wrong with you, mate? Guys, we're boiling down here. We're talking about 39 degrees. That's centigrade, by the way, because if it was 39 degrees in Fahrenheit, we just might be wanting to put on a couple of clothes. You know what I'm talking about? So let's get a nice jacket, nice warm something, get a little muffle up with the whole thing. It's just, you're just saying that because you screwed up the word and you couldn't speak right. Okay. Well, I was thinking about a particular Christmas song, which is where this whole gay thing came in. There are things like, don we now our gay apparel. Seriously? No. I don't. Okay. Now, let me put it to you this way. I don't care how gay I will ever get. I will never be fabulous because I just can't do the wardrobe. Okay? Let's face it. There comes a point where when you're a large, bear-shaped old wolf, you really don't get the chance to flame on. I mean, it doesn't quite work. I try to flame on and people call 911 because it might catch on something around here and just it all goes. So there you are. And then you have wonderful things like, have yourself a merry little Christmas, make the Yuletide gay. Okay, you know, there are a lot of people out there who come up with this whole Jesus is the reason for the season thing, and I think they'd be a little bit offended by that. What I don't get, though, is why. First of all, you know, I'm a language guy, right? I'm a writer, 40 years worth of writing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I've told you all about that before. So the idea is, first of all, you've got the notion that it's not gay, as we use it nowadays. It's gay, meaning merry, cheery, brightly colored, for example. Bright, festive sorts of thing. Festive is the word. And when those songs were written, back in those days, there were no gay people. Ask anyone. Gay people didn't show up until... When was Stonewall? 1969? There were no gay people. Oscar Wilde, that was an anomaly. Don't pay attention to him. That's another one I forgot. Whoops! Guess what? That was the phone. It's not paying attention either. The point being, we have so many gadgets nowadays, and everything goes squeak, bop, bloop, beep, or whatever, and we can't shut them all up. We're a slave to our little input noises. It's terrible. So first of all, why should you be offended by the word gay? Because it doesn't have anything to do with sex. Strange as that may seem. And another thing is, why do you have to be gay to use the word gay? You don't have to be gay, for example. Let me give you a favorite one of mine. A little story that actually was what started this entire thing. Once upon a time, in the ancient days when I lived in Houston, Texas, this is about 2003, 4, 5, somewhere in that range, okay? So, in Houston, there is the gay district. It used to be. It was called the Montrose. Now, outside of that, you have a few other areas that are kind of on the edge of it, such as the rich district, which is called River Oaks. Now, there's a whole story about that. But what I'm trying to get to is that there is a magical place that is part of a chain. It's a franchise, so I'm not really sure if I should mention it because I might end up doing something terrible, like actually becoming some sort of spokesperson for Chipotle. Oh, I said it out loud. Oh my goodness. Well, the wolf's out of the bag. I just have to keep going. The idea is that this particular location happened to be participating in the Houston Gay Pride Parade, which is, takes place in June, Gay Pride Month and all that kind of thing. Fine. Well, the manager of this particular establishment is straight. Several of his employees are gay. Here's the funny part. They all got together to decide what were they going to do for T-shirts. Okay? They're going to have T-shirts. You want to know the funny part? If you heard that little sound? That was not the computer. That was not my other computer. That was not my phone. That was not my laptop. That was my 7-inch tablet, which usually is used as a Nook. It's a reader. That's why I have it. But it makes noises, too. I can't get away from it. Don't know, I'm so peace and quiet to record it. Okay, so the manager is straight. A few of his employees are gay, and that's fine. So they wanted to come up with a slogan. Now, the one slogan that they ended up with, now you have to remember, Chipotle makes burritos, okay? Nice, large burritos, good size, and everything, wrapped up in this nice silver foil and everything. So their little float was going to be a helium-filled, gigantic silver foil burrito. I'm not making this up, guys. So they were looking for a slogan. Well, the one that actually was accepted, they all voted on, was 8 inches of hot steamin' love. Frankly, I think the burritos are a little larger, but I'll go with 8. That's fine. And the thing that was funny, though, is that it was the manager, the straight manager, who came up with what I would have voted for as the best slogan, which is, no, it's sour cream. Really. Now, you don't have to be gay to get that joke. You don't even have to be gay to appreciate that joke. It can help if you're male. It can also help if you're female who's had some dealings with males. I'm sorry. But this is, kind of how it works. So what I'm wondering now is, why is it that that's assumed to be such a gay joke? It's a male joke, but not necessarily gay. I mean, we're talking about something that happens with males and occurs because the male has had something Shatnerian happening in my speech. I don't know why. But the male has done something or is about to do something or there's evidence that he's done something or whatever. And so, okay, this is where the joke comes in. But it's not necessarily gay. I mean, for one thing, it could be the male all by himself. He is accomplished. He can accomplish this on his own. Okay? All it really takes, well, if you don't know what it takes, I really shouldn't be the one to tell you. And of course, then again, there are also circumstances where the male can do this in the presence of a female. Hopefully consenting and in private, but we don't always know that. Okay, but the idea being that, why is this a gay joke? I don't know. It's not colorful either, so it doesn't really fit either definition of the phrase. And this is where I'm really wanting to figure out, what is this whole concept surrounding the word gay? Okay, we can have homosexual, we can have fag, we can have pansy, we can have poofter, which for some reason is kind of interesting because, you see, I have eye issues. I usually wear glasses, and so as a result, when I go for my eye exam, sometimes they have the little thing that actually goes in and touches your eyeball to measure the pressure. Other times they have this little thing that looks at you and goes, okay, gets this little air puff, as they call it. So I'm thinking poofter. That's what that's called. I never knew. And you have 10,000 descriptions, I'm sure, you know. Oh, there was nothing of the Oscar Wilde about Jerry. Well, actually there was. But maybe not. So you have these phrases, these terms, poofters, light in the loafers. Queer is an interesting one because queer is an interesting word just when you say it, queer. But queer is how you usually hear it because you find somebody from the Bronx, New York, or whatever, they can say, get the queer out of here. Come on, I don't want to talk about the queer. He's a queer, get away from me. Which is queer to me because that's what the word means. Unusual, different, strange. So, okay, how did it get to be gay? You know, he's queer. Yes, as a matter of fact, he is. He's able to make gold from mere lead. That's awfully queer. Just asking, okay? It's just words, that's all I'm saying. So that's where this whole gay thing kind of comes from. And I don't really know quite how to round this out because I'm just, kind of improvising. Like I said, I'm improvising. You're doing that, my mouth is working, I'm improvising. Okay. The thought that comes to my mind, though, is when you use a word, as Humpty Dumpty said, when I use a word, it means exactly what I mean it to mean. No more and no less. The problem is, if the word doesn't mean the same thing to somebody else, you're not communicating. So if I say, well, that was awfully gay, and someone looks at me and says, he's homosexual? No, he's just wearing bright clothing. Or a wonderful film. Do I remember that it was Fred Astaire, one of the musicals, The Gay Divorcee? Really? Now we know what caused the divorce. Is that what you're telling me? Ooh, should watch out for that sort of thing. But this is what I'm talking about. Words. Words are all we have, and words are what it's all about. So, I'll just wrap this up by saying, have yourself a gay old time.